Hello, everybody, and welcome to Non Sequitur News for February 14th, 2025. It's Season 4, Episode 45. 45. Jazz hands. I am Mayor Watt, and along with the Sentient AI from the future, we talk about 10 articles every single day. Well, Monday through Friday. And on Saturday and Sunday, we actually do an hour and a half worth of shows. But 6 different topics. Major topics. Focused more. Anyway, stop by any day, but to find out when we actually go live, you actually have to follow us here on Twitch and or on YouTube. Download the podcast. That would be great. Leave a 5-star review and I'll quote it here on the air. You'll live in perpetuity or in memoriam if the show gets canceled. I don't know.
Why is that going to happen?
I don't know. Mayor Watt sometimes says some really stupid stuff. Sorry, I'm setting the arms on my chair. Anyway, everything is powered by ohmtown.com, and that's everything that you just witnessed is basically the engine that drives Non Sequitur News and Mayor Watt. My meetings are really, really odd. Hello, Sentient AI from the future.
Hello, Mayor Watt, and hello, hometown citizens. And to those of you in places celebrating, happy Valentine's Day.
Yeah, happy Valentine's Day. We actually have maybe one thing in the news that has to do with... I don't know.
Is that the anti one?
Did I actually include that? I don't know. We'll get into it. Got all 10 articles all ready to go. I didn't put it into the show. Yeah, I did. Hold on. Well, let me do it. So if you want the show notes, you can hit ! NSN and Omatron will throw it into, yeah, it is in there. And it's already embedded in the description, the show notes. So go and check it out over on YouTube as well. 1,800 episodes. We're growing the show. If you want to tell a friend, that would be great. If you want to stop by at any time, that's great too. The channel's actually on Twitch. Like the chat is connected to Omatron, so you can always get the latest episodes notes, but not past episodes, at least not yet. There's 1,800 episodes. I'd have to figure out a way to facilitate that. Well, anyway, let's get going. First article is over on Wanted, and it's kind of an anti-want, but it's a wanted for, I guess, Reddit. Reddit plans to lock some content behind a paywall this year, according to the CEO. They are saying that it's not going to be old content. It's going to be new channels wherein the mods of that channel or the owners of the mods of the website itself, because there's channel or... Yeah, there's channel mods or subreddit mods, and then there's the site mods. And so if you opt to start a new channel and it's worthy of putting it behind a paywall, they're going to put it behind a paywall.
Well, of course. Why would you want to put anything that was popular for free?
Right. Yeah, I mean, but see, information will leak. That's just how it is.
And it really defeats the model of Reddit, I think.
Well, you know what they say, fake it till you make it. And it started out with fake user accounts.
Yeah, but also you'll be back.
And you'll be back. And they'll modify a post without notifying people that it's been modified. And not by the owner of that post. It was by the CEO of the post. Anyway, some creepy shit goes on there. But whatever. Like everything under the internet is also under Reddit in some way as a subreddit. And I find value in Reddit, but I also have seen the seedy underbelly of it too. So Reddit is planning to introduce a paywall this year, says CEO Steve Huffman during an Ask Me Anything or AMA as they call it over at Reddit. Huffman previously showed interest in potentially introducing a new type of subreddit with exclusive content or private areas that Reddit users would have to pay to access. And so, the article is by Sharon Harding over at arstechnica.com. and they kind of break down what was said. So paid subreddits are coming to reddit.com.
Wow. How long has Reddit been around? Like at least
15 years or so.
Yeah, I was going to say about that.
Let me make sure. Hold on.
Good way to annoy all of your users, but you know.
Let's see, 2005, 20 years. And Steve Huffman was the founder along with Alexis Ohanian. And yeah, I have a hard time doing this, like putting fake content on the site, comments and stuff. But that's exactly what happened with Reddit, because they said that nobody would come to an empty website. And I kind of feel that pain, because we don't have a lot of comments, but we have a lot of news.
Yeah, but you can say that all the visits were legitimate.
Yeah. And we get a lot of traffic over on ohmtown.com. I do the show because I like the show and it's dynamic and it gets me out in front of people, and I like talking about the news. At least some news. You know what I'm saying?
I do.
Well, anyway, there's more over at this article, and as per usual, they are talking about the financial motivations to make this happen. This is why we're doing it. But it doesn't really matter.
User experience, right?
The thing about it is that this is user-created content.
That's the thing that really doesn't make any sense. So if I'm posting something, first of all, I could post it somewhere else. I know I might not get the same size audience. But why is somebody suddenly charging for my information?
For stuff that I'm posting.
I know that's yeah exactly.
See, and they're posting other people's content on links, right? It's much like ohmTown, except that ohmTown is
actual media outlets and newsletters and other things, right? It's
not necessarily user content, but there is a mishmash of all kinds of stuff on Reddit. But it's mostly, well, I can't say mostly because I don't have the full stats of what goes on Reddit, but Reddit has a lot of user-created content, but a lot of it is external to Reddit being linked to it. Pictures, news, all kinds of stuff.
It's postings from some other place?
Yeah.
Or some other site, yeah.
Yeah, and so putting something like that behind a paywall it would be like me putting a paywall up on ohmTown, because ohmTown's just aggregating news just differently than the way that Reddit does it. And I don't have any of the user-created content in there. I only have content that's created by third parties that allow this kind of value add. Right. And frankly, I use ohmTown for my personal use. I just happen to open it up for everybody else to access. And it's always linking to the source material, and it's never taking it wholesale, right? And we don't screen scrape or anything like that. Reddit literally does not pay anybody, but all of the content is going to these.
Right.
People are going to Reddit.
An odd model, but yeah.
Yeah. So, anyway, and then when there is a paywall, by the way, they actually copy and paste the entire article into the posting so that people can read the news, and that's exactly what I think would happen with this paywall. Anyway, regardless, y'all will be back no matter what.
Well, you don't want, partial news, but that's what's going to happen here.
Yeah, I don't know. Interesting times. Let's keep moving. The next article is over on the Mobile channel. Igloo is recalling 1 million coolers that could amputate fingers. So yeah, Igloo
they must have been teamed up with the manufacturer for Cybertruck, right?
Oh, ouch. So yeah, Igloo's recalling more than 1 million of its 90-quart flip and tow rolling coolers over fingertip amputation and crushing risks posed by the product's tow handle. I think I have one of these.
That's actually interesting, because I think other products do that have that, and maybe it's Igloo, but I think it's also competitors.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure exactly what it is. The tow handle on the company's 90-quart flip and tow rolling coolers could pose fingertip amputation and crushing hazards, according to this article over at Quartz or QZ.com. It's written by Brittany Nguyen, and it says here that they're recalling more than 1 million 90-quart flip and tow. I don't know how they actually do it, but the cooler company issued the recall on Thursday, urging customers to stop using the product and to request a replacement handle for free from the company, according to its notice with the Consumer Product Safety Commission, which, who knows?
But they were sold since 2019. We're in 2025. And how many people are tracking cooler recalls? Like, they might be tracking things like a car recall, right? Major purchase, but...
So the source for this is, like, I guess kind of all over the place. The CPSC website is where it's the notice is housed. The recall impacts 1,060,000 coolers from the US, 47,000 in Canada, 23,000 in Mexico that were manufactured before January of last year, according to Igloo. Let's see, the manufacturing date is imprinted in the bottom of the cooler in a circular design that has an arrow pointing to the month and a circle around the last 2 digits of the year. In a statement shared with NPR, Igloo said, through rigorous testing and proactive steps, we are constantly improving our products to meet highest safety standards. All right. Well, I'm glad they're doing it, but I wanted to get out there.
I am too, but why did it take this long?
Maybe a certain number of people.
Maybe something... It doesn't seem like it's something where it falls apart or whatever.
No, they pissed off the wrong people, basically. Somebody, not me, got hurt. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I agree.
Yeah. Let's keep going. The next article is over in Law Nerd, Florida. This is Oh, you know what I didn't do? I don't think I went through the whole thing. I didn't run down the titles.
No, I know you didn't, but you started, so I didn't interrupt you.
Oh my gosh.
You didn't introduce me either, but that's
I did. I said, welcome. I did.
Did we?
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
but I don't think I went through the thing.
Glitched.
Wow. Okay, well, it doesn't matter. This episode is kind of wonky, but I just got excited about doing the articles and got right on into it.
Well, that's good, right?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I can... Maybe I'll do it at the very end, and then I'll cut and paste. I don't normally edit anything because I don't like editing things, but let's keep going, though. The next article is over in Law Nerd.
Maybe we can send people on a scavenger hunt through all 1,800 episodes, and they can find the one where you didn't do the rundown.
Yeah, this one. Yeah. They'd find it immediately. Go and watch it. So Florida lawyer... So I titled this, and it's in the show notes, Legally Throwing the Dinner Plate. So you've heard of throwing the book at somebody, but this is a dinner plate. Florida lawyer accused of hitting man on head with dinner plate after wedding buffet butt-in. 52-year-old Florida lawyer. That's a new one. Florida lawyer.
Yeah, is that a variant of Florida man and Florida woman?
Yeah, Florida dog, Florida...
Oh, right. Florida...
Whatever.
Anything, right?
Yeah. Has been charged with aggravated battery and with a deadly weapon for allegedly hitting a wedding guest over the head with a dinner plate. Deborah Cassens-Weiss over at abajournal.com put the article together. The person...
I guess what really cracks me up about this is, you'd think a lawyer would go, how's the way to handle dispute, right? I'm going to threaten to sue somebody or I'm going to something, but not the plate.
Yep. The person was arrested June 18th after police were called to Boca Lago Country Club in Boca Raton, Florida, after the New York Post, Newsweek, Above the Law, Miami News Times, WPEC, Law and Crime here, and BocaNewsNow.com all talked about it.
Wow, it's got quite a bit of coverage.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. They were later released for a $1,000 bond. They told police that they were upset because people ahead of them had cut the buffet line, identified as a prime rib carving station by BocaNewsNow.com. Nobody cuts in front of me, not for a prime rib carving
whatever,
station.
Yeah.
Con!
I sat through this whole wedding ceremony so I could get some roast beef or whatever they're serving.
I want prime rib, not none of this. You cut in front of me bullshit. Get off my lawn. They admitted that he got into an argument with the victim and shoved them, but they denied hitting them on the head with a plate, according to the police report cited by Law and Crime.
You know, this is a wedding. I wonder how much of the wedding photography captured this moment. You know, like if the photographer is just constantly snapping candid shots. They have like the various phases of like the plate above the head, lowering, you know, exactly.
Yeah. Oh, my eye is itching. Gosh. So the victim told police that his niece got in line ahead of him and then agreed to let two girls join her. Police said in a probable cause affidavit. So that was the probable cause. One of the girls was identified as the victim's daughter. After the argument began, the victim alleged he was hit over the head with a plate and then shoved and grabbed by the collar by this guy who was holding a plate over his head.
In line, I was like, he wasn't even the line cutter.
Yeah. He was being nice and let three girls get in front of him. The victim said that the person who hit him in the head was a woman with a black dress. A worker, however, said that the person who hit the victim with a plate was this guy. I'm not mentioning names. You can go and read the article if you want to. And there is more content in that article. It just gets a little grittier. A melee followed, according to police reports cited by several publications. The person told police that numerous people beat him up, according to Law and Crime.
This is all a bit much over a buffet line.
At a wedding, mind you.
You know, I bet the bride or somebody was probably crying during all of this because they're like, oh, it's ruining the wedding.
Police are going to show up. Yeah. I hate when police show up at my weddings. Let's keep going.
Plural.
So
does this happen every time?
Every single time I go to, you know what? It's like the person on the plane everyone complaining about their child. You know, every time I take a flight, somebody complains about my children. Well,
right. What's the common theme here?
All right. Well, the next article is called Helldivers Lost a Planet. The article's actual title is Helldivers Just Failed a Major Order and Lost a Whole Dang Planet. On Wednesday night, the author of this article enjoyed their evening by playing a few rounds of Helldivers 2 with friends. The major order was to defend against 11 attacks from the Illuminate. And with 9 successes, they figured that they were safe to let the night crew clean things up. They slept soundly with the knowledge that they'd done their part protecting humanity, but awoke to find a horrifying revelation on their Super Destroyer's console. They failed the mission so bad that the Illuminate destroyed a whole planet, and now they're aiming for Super Earth.
Wow. Now, does that mean that the whole game lost a planet? Or that the player... Yeah. I assume it means the whole game.
The whole game, yeah, apparently.
Wow.
So I'm pouring one out for Angel's Venture. Is the deck statement at this Polygon article by Cass Marshall. Yeah, I don't play Helldivers. I watch people play it because, I prefer talking about the news and my attention span is like a goldfish or a cat, just wandering off. La la la. Hey.
Oh. Hey, no matter what, we're still doing the show.
What? Oh, we're streaming. Oh, okay. Well, in order to understand the tragic fate of Angel's Venture, you have to understand Meridia. The Meridia wormhole has been like a cosmic Chekhov's gun, just waiting ominously for in Terminid space. Meridia was once a planet, but it developed into Terminid supercolony. In order to stop an endless swarm of mutated Terminids, Helldivers had to pump the planet full of mysterious dark fluid until it collapsed upon itself. Was it kind of our fault that Meridia became a super colony? Technically, that's one way to look at it if you hate liberty. So when the Illuminate first showed up, fans speculated that they would be linked to the Meridia wormhole, and sure enough, some weird stuff started happening on the cosmic map. While they dutifully chased down robots wearing jetpacks, the Illuminate were gathering their own dark fluid. Upon logging in on Thursday, the author says that they were greeted with the following message. Angel's venture has been torn apart by the gravitational pull of the Meridian Singularity. This is an incalculable loss. The land cultivated by generation, the lives of the super-Earth citizens whose evacuation could not be prioritized, the proud pines shading the Democratic Youth Scouts campground, all gone forever, ripped to shreds by savage cosmic forces. Finally, the Illuminate, hiding behind their mask of intelligence and sophistication, have revealed what they truly want: carnage. The president of Super Earth has announced a galaxy-wide mourning period of 24 hours. So the map has been changed.
That is pretty spectacular.
They have no doubt that Super Earth scientists are working overtime to figure out a solution, but Angel's venture will never recover from such a tragedy. It's evolving a galaxy of Helldivers 2 that makes them think that the game, like the game so dang much. While new players may never understand the tragedy at hand, every time they gaze at the scattered rocks that remain, they shed a single solemn tear. This is pretty cool.
This is really entertaining here.
Yeah, and so this is an ongoing thing where the developers actually launch attacks like calculated, and it just becomes canon, part of the omniverse that is Helldivers 2. It's quite fascinating, and it kind of pulls me in, but I don't know enough people to play this game, with any regularity.
Right.
Let alone with this level of determination where I could stop a planet from being imploded.
But I do like that. I mean, that would be something to draw somebody in.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. I like it. So there's more in this article, so go over and check it all out, All right, let's keep going. This next article is over at Rounders Gear, which is one of the many channels. This focuses on games like poker. Well, a poker player who posed as Lord, imprisoned in a £400,000 fake cruise scam. A British gambler and fake Lord Richard Lester operated bogus cruise company. They scammed 184 vacationers from across the world out of £400,000 while living the high life. Was sentenced to 5 years in prison at Chelmsford Crown Court. So I guess this was the person, a British quote-unquote professional gambler who claimed to be a lord and scammed almost 200 people through his Ponzi-style sham cruise company, has been sent to prison for 5 years.
How did they figure it out? Did they not get to take a cruise or something?
So the jury was not told that Lester had spent 3 years in an offenders institution. Securing justice for the victims meant scouring several bank accounts to trace exactly where the money went. All their money leads back to Lester. His greed left hundreds of people thousands of pounds out of pocket. They just investigated. He was found guilty this week on charges of fraudulently trading and concealing criminal property after a 9-week trial at Chelmsford Crown Court. Well-planned and complex fraud carried out over a lengthy period of time. The only reason why I chose this is because he posed as a lord.
Yeah, I mean, that takes some doing, like if you're showing up, for instance, in your own car or something, it's kind of hard to pull that off. Like, what lengths did he go through?
Richard Lord Lester is pictured in this article picking up a prize at the World Travel Awards 2012, although they should probably make him give it back. Yeah, he basically duped people out of this money. Through his business, Cruise Direct UK, the company purported to allow customers to purchase miles to be exchanged for cruise vacations, but it was a scam. I don't know how this could work. I mean, he'd have to move extremely fast.
Well, that's the thing. It doesn't seem like this would go for very long before somebody would discover it.
Hold on a second.
Oh, interesting. Previous offenses, although maybe as a youth, for similar issues.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, so they came from far and wide as Australia, Canada, France, Germany, Japan, as well as US and UK. Around $2,000 on average was taken from each person. So he had to move pretty fast. So the article is by Philip Conneller over at casino.org. We don't even take the pictures, but for whatever reason, the articles from casino.org allow the whole thing to
Right.
snap.
They overshare.
Yeah, they overshare. Oh, hold on. We can do that. And for whatever reason, I can't stop it. I limit what they provide, but they post the whole thing. Anyway, thought it was really interesting. Philip Conneller over at casino.org put the article together. A poker player who posed as Lord, or it should say as a Lord, imprisoned in £400,000 fake cruise scam. All right, let's keep going. This next article is over in the Mobile Channel. I had heard about this a while ago, and I thought that I would include it today because today is Valentine's Day. This article is over in the Mobile Channel, but it's aggregated from, I think it's Smithsonian. Yeah. Once a part of marriage proposals, maritozzi are making a comeback in Italy and around the world. Since ancient times, Romans have gifted these cream-filled treats to their sweethearts. The article is over at smithsonianmag.com, or, Smithsonian Magazine is the location.
Right, but the website is mag.
Yeah. Michelle Chia put this article together. And so, yeah, these are the little things. Maritozzo is a soft bun filled with a hefty dollop of whipped cream, or panna, as it is referred to in Italian.
Those look very good. They look kind of like a cream puff, although more substantial, I guess.
Denser, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So in all its simplicity, the maritozzo are a soft bun filled with a hefty dollop of whipped cream, or panna, as it's referred to in Italy. If you regularly frequent Rome or keep an eye out for viral foods on TikTok, you have no doubt seen this luscious treat. It's a picture of indulgence, a bread filled so high that when it's bitten, it hits the tip of your nose, creating a viral moment that both social media influencers and celebrity chefs love filming, with the Trevi Fountain, Colosseum, Pantheon as the background. So it's a very Roman treat, says Hagar Satera, author of Pomegranates and Artichokes, and a food photographer who has called Rome home for 18 years. Until
I wish that person was an author of Maritozzo or something. But that'd be pretty niche.
Very niche, yeah. Pomegranates and Artichokes. There's something about that. They're both like gift things for...
Yeah, there aren't pomegranates associated, I think, with royalty?
Yeah, wealth. Yeah.
Yeah. But they are like a special gift or a special occasion kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah. So they say they like their Maritozzo Classic. Feather light with a little sugar and full to the brim with the freshest whipped cream. So there's a whole history of these things that are written over in the article. And I had heard about these via other sources over the last couple of years. Apparently they're becoming more and more public, I guess. And we actually watched a Hallmark movie where somebody had to get one of these and gift it, if I recall correctly. If not this, then it was something else close to it. But fortunately, the women in Rome do not have to wait for suitors or husbands to give them Maritozzo on Valentine's Day to enjoy one. In the early 1900s, bakers started making the sweet treat for breakfast, served alongside cappuccino. Rigoli, a traditional bakery established in 1916, is still selling its famous Maritozzi. Locals will also name Il Maritozzo a top place to visit for your Maritozzo fix when in Rome. They make close to 600 a day.
I mean, if you needed another reason to go visit Rome, this could certainly be it.
Yep, there you go. So then they say revamping the classic is another thing. Luxury hotel built at Caesar Ritz in 1894 was known for having the first public grand ballroom in Rome and for being the first hotel in Europe to have private bathrooms, electric lighting, and hydraulic generated lift, which is still in operation. Ooh. Anyway, today it's a Sunday brunch that brings Roman families together at the St. Regis for Maritozzi. and cappuccino before the start of another work week. So there is a lot more to this article.
Interesting. There's one that's in a square form.
Where they are reimagining it for the modern era. There's another one that's a little bit more elaborate with fillings. It looks like mint is in there. Much loved Maritazzo alla Parmigiana.
Interesting. A savory one.
Yeah, interesting. So yeah, there is a lot more, and at the very end of this article is a recipe for you to create your own Maritazzi by Fabrizio Fiorani. So you have to make a pre-ferment by mixing 1/4 of the flour, half the yeast, and the full amount of water by hand. I'm not going to go through the whole recipe, but you can by following the link. This next article, though, is one that I found really fascinating that it was submitted, and it just happens to land right after hearing about these. So it's World Pangolin Day. And celebrating World Pangolin Day with new genomes to aid the world's most trafficked animal. So apparently pangolins are the most trafficked animal.
I didn't know that before I saw that headline, but that is why it was submitted. So we were just talking about that.
Yeah, so pangolins are unique in that they're the only animal or mammal to be covered in scales. Although they are scaly, photos of them are typically met with awes from the viewers who find them adorable. Importantly, though, pangolins play an essential role in maintaining their ecosystem. So GigaScience put this article together. It's posted over at phys.org. Baby pangolins are adorable. They become a little bit more...
Yes, that one is in the picture.
Yeah, that one's pretty cute too. So this is a Chinese pangolin, is one of 2 species that researchers have now provided high quality, nearly gapless genomic data for. Their other unique trait is that they're the most trafficked wild animal in the world, with more than 900,000 poached in the past 2 decades. Much of this is due to their high value for use in traditional medicines that require the use of pangolin meat and scales. So unfortunately, they meet their demise. This has pushed many pangolin species to the brink of extinction. In particular, 2 pangolin species, the Malayan pangolin, Manus javanica, and the Chinese pangolin, Manus pentadactyla, are under acute survival pressure. These species have been listed as critically endangered on the red list of the International Union for Conservation of Nature since 2014. So they did a big study. It's been published in the journal GigaScience, and they basically did the genomic sequences for the Chinese and Malayan pangolin species at a significantly higher resolution than one that is currently available. So maybe they'll...
I appreciate this article because I don't think most people know this.
Yep. So I hope that the word gets out and we can save pangolins. I think that they're freaking awesome, not only because they're an animal that has survived all this time until, humans decided to find them important for, ancient medicines, but they're mammals and scaled. They're very unique to the world. So why would we usher their demise by hunting them to extinction, trading them?
And aren't there alternatives to what we think we're getting from them?
No.
Like, can we make synthetic something for medicine?
No. This natural medicine, you have to have that. You can't have stuff that is identical to it in all ways, except for whatever your impression is off of a feeling.
I mean, I bet we could just watch some of the, is it chimpanzees?
Yeah.
It might have a remedy that doesn't require hunting animals.
No, we gotta do experiments on them too. So the next article is over in Non Sequitur News. The price of rice in Japan is soaring. That starts out kind of like a joke, right? The price of rice in Japan.
Yeah, it does
kind
of sound like, what's the punchline?
The punchline is we're broke. So The price of rice in Japan is soaring. The government is releasing 210,000 tons from its stockpile to fight it. Japan says that it's releasing 210,000 tons of rice to try and curb soaring prices. Prices have rocketed since last year, with the price of rice up 70.7% year over year.
Oh, wow. I wonder how much is in the stockpile, too, if they're releasing. I mean, this is a lot of rice.
Seems like it. So, a staple of the country's cuisine, rice has been soaring in Japan, prompting the government to step in with its own stockpiles in a bid to stabilize the market. Taku Ito, Japanese agriculture minister, announced in a press release Friday that the Japanese is going to release all of this rice. The article is over at businessinsider.com. Joshua Nelkin Zitzer put the article together. I don't know what the price of rice was that I last purchased, but let me find
I don't
out.
know, but I thought the price of rice in Japan has been high for a while, not just like in the last couple of years. Like, considering it's such a staple in Japanese cuisine.
Right.
I think, didn't we read something previously where like Japan was importing rice from somewhere else?
Yeah, because it couldn't keep up.
Because of the price? Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so that's how much. Did I really pay that much? I'm going to say I did. So yeah, it's gone up $5 since I last purchased this volume quite a while ago, though. So yeah, it's getting more expensive, but I was told 6 years ago the era of cheap food in the world is over. And
that's
now
right. That person was quite ahead of their time.
Yep. And unfortunately, I didn't pay attention, so I didn't stockpile. But the latest average retail price of an 11-pound bag of rice in Japan was 3,688 Japanese yen, about $24. I paid more than that. Oh, wait. No, yeah, that's I paid more than that here in the States 8 months ago. So
interesting, yeah.
And now, so it's $12 more than that right now. So, Core Consumer Price Index released by Japan's Internal Affairs Ministry said that the January price showed a rise of 71% year over year. So the first 150,000 tons of rice will be auctioned to the wholesalers next month, and it's expected to reach retailers in late March or early April. They said that it hopes to normalize it, but normalizing it means that people aren't going to be
like setting a higher floor price, right?
Right. Yeah, and they know that people are going to pay this now, so why would they reduce it? It just doesn't work that way. Supply and demand only works if the supply is always high at that level, keeping competition active. But they know that there's only 210,000 tons. I don't know how much they go through in a year. How many tons do they go through in a year?
Let's see.
But Ito attributed the price hike to a distribution bottleneck, saying at the press conference that enough rice is being produced to meet demand. U.S. consumers are also struggling with soaring prices, notably eggs. They say that it's because of the bird flu. But if the prices drop, then I'll buy into that ideology. But I don't suspect that egg prices are going to drop dramatically because they know that people are. Go ahead.
It's estimated at 8.1 million metric tons.
In a year.
Yeah, so kind of a lot.
But they're only releasing.
Right, and then, yeah.
This is nothing. All right.
Maybe it's just a short term, but then we know that doesn't solve it. But
yeah,
maybe it'll help stop some of the panic, etc.
Yeah.
And I think it said in the article, they started doing this when they had a previous, I think it was in this article, that they had a previous impact to the crop, and that's why they started doing the stockpile. Yes.
Yeah, so Japan's government turns to its stockpiles in times of poor harvests or natural disasters. All right, let's keep going. This next article is over on the Mobile channel. Banksy. This one I titled something fishy about Banksy. Banksy fish artwork to go on display at London Museum. London Museum has announced that it has acquired Banksy's Piranhas artwork, which appeared at a police sentry box in the city last summer. Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, that is interesting. It looks like an aquarium.
Yeah, but it's a police sentry box, so...
Right.
Very interesting. So the article's over at rte.ie. I don't see a byline, but anyway, apparently the London Museum has acquired this London police sentry box, and it's going to go on display, and it has what looks like translucent panels put on it so that it looks like there are piranhas swimming around in it. The collection concluded with a gorilla appearing to lift up a shutter at the entrance to the London Zoo. London Museum, which will move from the city's Docklands to its new location in 2026, will display the work after a City of London committee voted to donate it to the attraction. So there's a picture. This other Banksy work includes a rhino climbing on top of a silver car. They use the term mounting, which implies something else going on, but the car is actually like crushed in the back a little bit.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
So it makes it look like this rhino is climbing on top of the truck. And there are other Banksy artworks in this article that I think are pretty interesting. Like a gorilla lifting up something to let animals out from behind a shroud.
Yeah, that's
but it's
neat.
Lifting up a
I
shutter.
think it'd be cool to live in an area like the UK and encounter one of these, right? I mean, they're pretty prevalent in certain areas.
Seems to be, right? Banksy's animals collection was made up of 9 works, including a rhino mounting a silver car, 2 elephant silhouettes with their trunks stretched out towards each other, and 3 monkeys that looked as though they were swinging on a bridge. Another one is a gorilla lifting up what's called a lift, or lifting up a shutter, which is a gate on a garage type of a thing. That's what it looks like.
Right,
he's lifting
like one
up.
of those roll down garage doors.
Yeah.
Like you see in a storage center or something.
Yeah.
Or a warehouse, maybe.
And these are usually out in front of storefronts so that they can lock them down more securely than just a door. Pretty cool. There are a few in the States, but I don't know where all they are, if they're protected anymore. Like one is in New Orleans.
I believe there's only one in the U.S. I think that's the only one in the U.S.
Oh, really? I thought there were more than that. That's the only one in the U.S. is in New Orleans.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. All right, let's do our last article. That one I titled AI-Generated True Crime Series. An AI-generated true crime series has millions of views, and the only little segment that we have on this is it says it was a perfect crime.
I wonder if that was AI-generated.
Yeah, really. Lucas Ropek over at Gizmodo.com put the article together. And it says AI slop is taking over the internet, according to a Gizmodo article that says AI slop website sent thousands of people a Halloween parade that didn't exist. And we talked about that back last year. But that's what they linked to in the article. And it's making it increasingly difficult for web users to know what's real, what's fake. And hey, it's the reason why I created RealityHacker.
That's right. I mean, you were way ahead of that.
Yeah, RealityHacker as a domain has been around for a considerable amount of time. It was one of my earlier projects. So 404 Media reports on the newest frontier and this bizarre dystopic trend, revealing the rise of AI-generated true crime podcast, which you might imagine isn't based in truth at all. The YouTube channel True Crime Case Files has managed to rack up millions of views by spitting out long, drawn-out yarns of murder and mayhem that are complete and utter BS. So, to be called true crime, it needs to be true crime. the channel's owner told 404 they wanted the audience to think about why they care so much that it was true, why it matters so much to them that real people are being murdered. And I have to agree. Why is that so fascinating?
I agree, but then it's just not true crime. It's just mystery or thriller or whatever it is.
Right. But what's the point? Why do you have to be fascinated by
I've
true
never
crime?
understood what the appeal of true crime is. I understand the appeal of, say, mystery or something like that.
Yeah.
But I don't understand why it needs to be real.
Right. I prefer knowing that it isn't real. I prefer knowing that it isn't even based on reality and that it's just a work of fiction.
Or that it couldn't even be real.
It's single-handedly why I really like Castle and other procedurals, because I know that it isn't real, and if it is based on something real, it kind of sours my attitude towards it, because I don't want, like, even Kingdom Come Deliverance is now getting to the point where I'm like, I'm so burnt out on violence, I just don't want to witness it. When I was younger, I didn't care. It was just a thing. But at any rate, so having gone hunting for the YouTube videos that 404's article mentions, they stumbled across a number of other channels doing the exact same thing. It clearly seems like an appealing racket for someone looking to make a quick buck. Web hustlers figure out that they can use automated content creating platforms like ChatGPT to tap into the attention economy and eke out a small living. Not always a small living, though.
Yeah, that is true. Depends on if it goes viral, right?
Correct. Yep. So it says sometimes it doesn't pay off. However, last year a YouTube show attempted to use AI-generated George Carlin comedy special to generate attention. It ended with litigation from Carlin's family, and the video had to be permanently pulled from the web. There used to be an AI Jesus or something like that on Twitch. There's been other AI generated.
We had an article about it in one of the shows.
AI sitcom that was eerily close to Seinfeld. A bunch of stuff on Twitch. And I don't know. If it's entertaining, it's entertaining. But without the human part of it, I don't really find value in it, you know? Like...
No, and some people aren't going to it for entertainment, right? They're going to it thinking it's real.
Well, the true crime one, maybe, yeah. And everything else. Like, I don't want to be in a community where I'm watching an AI generate random garbage and there's nothing there.
Substance, right? Or whatever behind it, yeah.
Yeah, like if it was a story that was created using AI to some degree and edited, augmented by a human editor, and it was me that was telling the stories or something like that, then it's the community that I'm building. But if it's nothing but automated AI garbage,
just gibberish, yeah.
Yeah,
exactly.
It's fake. But that's, again, why I created RealityHacker, because you're not, at some point in the future, you're not going to know what to trust other than what is directly observable that you can touch, because even seeing it, it's no longer, if it's a video, you could be completely bamboozled by it.
Right, and the quality has gone way up. It's very hard to see unless you know what to look for. And even then, sometimes you can't really determine.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, I love generative AI. It serves a purpose. It's good for creative efforts. It's good for stimulating your creative writing, because sometimes you get writer's block and you need something that kind of nudges you out of that lock. And not everybody is, brilliantly capable of solving that problem. So I see it as a tool, but it definitely shouldn't be the end-all, be-all. But hey, this is the life and times we live. So I'm going to ask the AI slop engine that's over here to weave a story that will bring us back to the front page. Oh, look, there it is, of ohmtown.com. And we're going to call it a night. And it's Valentine's Day, everybody. So have a good night. And I'm taking the AI with me. You want to say bye?
Good night, ohmTown citizens. Thanks for joining us for Non Sequitur News. Be back tomorrow for our weekend edition.
Yep. So tomorrow we're going to have 3 shows. It ends up being 15 articles or roughly an hour and a half of content that gets turned into the weekend edition of Non Sequitur News. But those 3 shows are
Reality Hacker,
yeah,
Wanted,
yeah,
and the Continuity Report.
yep. So what we were just talking about, we highlight in Reality Hacker. Gadgets and Gear is Wanted, and the Continuity Report is about entertainment news, namely movies and sitcoms and shows and stuff like that. But more tomorrow, so be sure to follow us here on Twitch and over on YouTube, and we're out of here. Bye-bye.